Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 60,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines to expire at midnight. Jamalco loses $500,000 daily due to fire damage. Sports, reggae boys midfielder charged after arrest in Florida. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. There's a rush this afternoon to get the COVID-19 vaccines in the arms of as many Jamaicans as possible before they expire. As the clock ticks closer to midnight, some 60,000 doses of a life-saving drug could be discarded if not used up. The country will hear today how many doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine still in storage will have to be dumped when the supplies expire at midnight. TVJ News has been informed that the Ministry of Health is to hold a media briefing later today to give details. Officials of the ministry were tight-lipped last night on take-up of the doses near expiration. Professor of Public Health and Epidemiology at the University of the West Indies, Peter Figueroa, says it's unfortunate that doses of a medicine may go to waste.
Some of us have been saying that you could have given it to private sector doctors from months ago, and also to get it into more of the health centers where people can access the vaccine more readily. So it is very unfortunate.
Professor Figueroa explained that unlike other vaccines, the AstraZeneca brand cannot be used after the expiration date.
I know that with respect to another COVID vaccine, there was actually an extension of the expiry date because the tests in the lab showed that the vaccine was still active. But I don't think that that is going to apply to the current vaccine that the government has.
Speaking of the morning agenda on Power 106, Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, says the time allotted for vaccination could be extended so more persons can take the jab.
So as we go through today and we look at the numbers, if that is necessary, we will so do and make those announcements.
In the meantime, Director of the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, Dr. Carissa Etienne, yesterday announced plans to ramp up the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines for the region. She told the weekly PAHO news conference that discussions are taking place with manufacturers to purchase additional doses of the medicine.
We are expected to sign new agreements in the coming days to buy vaccines that have the emergency use listing approval from other suppliers for 2021 and 2022. But administering vaccines requires more than just doses. Today, we need more syringes as vaccination campaigns ramp up. PAHO has already secured over 150 million syringes for our member states, and the revolving fund is working to finalize shipments for the rest of 2021.
There was a slight upward movement in the island's positivity rate in the last 24 hours. Jamaica recorded a 20.7% positivity rate on Wednesday, up from 19.7% on Tuesday. The country recorded 251 new cases of the COVID-19 virus from 1,367 test samples. The overall case count now stands at 83,737. 650 people are hospitalized with the virus. 37 patients are critically ill, while 87 are severely ill. 141 more people have recovered, pushing the total recovery count to 52,817. There are now 28,464 active cases on the island. COVID-19 has claimed 9 more lives, increasing the death toll to 1,869. Losses at alumina company Jamalco on a daily basis are estimated at $500,000. The losses are due to a fire at the plant in August. Mining Minister Robert Montague gave an update in Parliament last evening. Growth in the economy is expected to be slowed following the non-operation of the Jamalco plant, which was affected by fire last month. Mining Minister Robert Montague, speaking on Wednesday in Parliament, said there will be a decline in alumina production and the related foreign exchange earnings for 2021 into 2022 and possibly into 2023. He says the plant currently has property and plant insurance coverage amounting to $250 million to address single incidents such as the fire. However, he noted that may not be enough.
CAP may well need to call on the government of Jamaica to enable it to cover its 45% of any reconstruction expenses that might be necessary. Madam Speaker, I am saying that and letting the House know that we don't anticipate a call on the government resources, but we're just letting it know that it may happen.
Mr. Montague says a three-stage resumption model is now being worked on to get the alumina plant back into full operation. He says stage one will involve the refinery being returned to action as a single digester operation.
Other key activities during this phase include environmental cleanup, engineering assessment of remaining structures, power and electric reconstruction, mechanical and civil structure reconstruction, return to the service of the main steam turbine, and we will also increase our buy of energy from the JPS. The capital required for this stage is approximately $19 million.
In stage two, the plant will be moved to a two-digester operation with the rental of gas turbines. The final stage will see the installation of a new gas-fired powerhouse with heat recovery to replace the rented boilers. But opposition spokesman on mining Philip Paulwell has taken issue with the expected timelines, calling them unrealistic.
When you have to be dealing with insurance claims, when you have to deal with clearing land, starting rehabilitation process, a lot of time is lost. And I really hope that we can get the plant back, even to that first stage where you get back one of the digesters in place.
Mr. Paulwell further noted that the full financial implication of Jamalco has not been grasped by the government and the costs associated might have to be shouldered by taxpayers. After 4 days, the body of 65-year-old Portland farmer Ronald Franklin has been retrieved. Franklin, a farmer of Bonneview in Portland, was on the hunt for wild hogs in the hills of Bellevue in the parish on Sunday. It's understood that he misstepped and fell over a precipice where he died. Numerous efforts were made to retrieve his body from Monday, but those efforts proved futile with a JDF helicopter calling off the retrieval operation twice. Approximately 10:30 this morning, another attempt was made and his body recovered. Head of operations for the Portland Police, Deputy Superintendent Thorville Horton, spoke to our news team.
What we want to highlight, though, is the tenacity and the effort that the community made in order to get the necessary support to the security forces and the fire department, as they spent quite a bit of time clearing the vegetation so that the helicopter could get in close enough to retrieve the body. So fortunately this morning we were able to get it out of the space, and we are now proceeding with the regular investigative and administrative processes regarding the deceased. You know, we understand the level of relief that the family and members of the community must be going through, and we are happy that the efforts of everyone combined was able to get the body of the now deceased out of the area that it was, so that it can go to its final resting place.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. General Secretary of the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, has reacted to the departure of caretaker for Eastern St. Andrew and councillor for the Papine Division, Venetia Phillips, from the party. Sandra Williams has more.
The People's National Party, PNP, continues to struggle to find unity. And now, outspoken councillor for the Papine Division, Venetia Phillips, has severed ties with the party. Ms. Phillips says she has decided to discontinue her membership in the party at this time because of what she called ideological differences with PNP President Mark Golding. Her decision comes after months of chastising the party's hierarchy over its handling of unity issues.
A good leader will be able to manage people who don't support them, or if you get what I mean, and a good leader will be able to manage dissenting voices. Because you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but you will be at a place where the respect obtains. It cannot be about someone's ego or the ego of their friends. It has to be about the bigger movement that is going to serve the people of Jamaica. I can't trust your compass because I don't know where it comes from or what it's based on. That's my view of Mark Golding based on his utterances in my presence, not hearsay.
She explains that her decision wasn't made overnight, adding that she had spoken to former senior members of the party about her concerns about Mr. Golding.
While I sat in different meetings where he was. You heard a certain tone coming out. I didn't like it. I raised it from as far back as Comrade Portia Simpson Miller. I sat with Dr. Phillips on it. I sat with Philip Caldwell on it. And when I started to speak out and Comrade Katie Knight spoke to me, I told him how I felt. I do not believe in my heart that Mark Golding has the interest of the comrades, let alone the people of Jamaica, at the center of his focus.
General Secretary for the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, reacted to Ms. Phillips' decision to quit the party.
We have seen the public comments made by Comrade Venetia Phillips, but we have not seen any such declaration made to the party, and specifically the party's secretariat. We want to, however, thank Comrade Venetia Phillips for the service she has provided to the People's National Party, and we want to wish her all the very best in all of her future endeavors.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Residents of East Portland are appealing to the authorities to fix the roads in their area. They also want a debushing program to be rolled out. Codian Barrett reports.
That's all down there. If the Jamaica people them need a pool, you understand, we just add water to it.
This is the size of some of the potholes along the road, and in other areas, just stones. Some motorists refusing to travel on the road, while others rock their way through to their destination, but at an increased cost for passengers. And taxi operators are feeling it in their pockets.
Would I like them people have to give a good road? That's we can save some money on the road. The road is bad, the riverbed, two sides. We just rock, go in and patrol them and come out. Not patrol them, not trench them. Go in and come out. And God bless anybody fix it for you. Because if anybody fix it for you, I for him or her, anybody.
One resident with a disability says traveling is challenging and he's fed up with the bare minimum effort.
It's bad, real bad. You understand? And hear me, we have to wake up now and realize that hear me, these people getting away with too much. You understand? You can't drop mall. For sure, me say you're going to fix the road. But at the end of the day, the mall pile up there. People soon start taking because I give them. If you drop the mall to fix the road, why the road is not fixed?
The road is also almost covered in bush. Residents says the last debushing was 3 years ago.
When brushing, they brush from number north back to light art and nothing to none such. Look at the condition and the road. The grass, the two places to meet, the two banks, pure bush, we're tired of it.
Councillor for the Prospect Division in East Portland, Wayne McKenzie, says he has been lobbying for the road to be fixed for the past 10 years.
We have gotten a little patching here and there. Dr. Bloomfield patch below the cave. After his death, nothing has taken place since. But each time I go to council when the NWA is there and highlight, they keep saying it is going to be placed on the program. And I have not seen it on the program since.
As for the debushing, he did not state when it would be done. Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
And frustrated residents of Sandhills Vista and Helshire St. Catherine have moved to fix their roads in the communities. The residents say they have been complaining about the situation for years.
The residents say they have been dealing with the bad roads for the past 5 years. They say they had no choice but to fix the roads themselves, as they have been neglected by their political representatives.
For the last 5 years, we have been going down through this section here, damaging tires, damaging front end on the cars. I mean, it has really taken a toll on us. This section of the road here is lonely. It is heavily bushed, and it is very bad. Yeah, you have to be driving very slow.
The residents also complain about the lack of proper streetlights. Mr. Duncan says there is only one streetlight in the area, which is also not working. He says there have been several instances of robbery in the past.
Now, when a lonely female, a pregnant female, or a mother with her a single mother that don't have a male figure in the household to come and assist her then. Yeah, she going down through this lonely area. Would-be robbers could, pounce upon her.
In the meantime, caretaker for the Healthcare Division, Richard Mendez, while opting not to point finger, says it is unfortunate that the residents have to take matters into their own hands.
Irrespective of whether it's a part of National Works Agency or a parochial road, what we have seen for the last 5 years is a buck has been passing from one hand to the next hand to the different agencies, from the UDC, the Municipal Council, and the Works Agency. Nobody is belling the cat.
And a member of Parliament for South St. Catherine, Fitz-Jackson, says the area is the responsibility of the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, and after numerous dialogue with the state agency to have the road repaired, the municipality has had to go elsewhere.
Just up to yesterday, I was in discussion with the general manager, pushing them. Their first response is that they don't have any money. That's UDC. And I've been pushing them through her just up to yesterday afternoon. We have a WhatsApp exchange on it to see what you can do. Nothing was not good enough. And I asked her to go back and see what she can do. That was just up to yesterday. So as we speak, I'm waiting on her to do further internal consultation and come back to me with a positive response.
Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. Again, we go to Codian Barrett.
Lumber Depot more than tripled its profits for the financial year, which ended April 30, 2021. The company recorded profits of $145 million, up from $22 million in the previous quarter. This represented a 554% increase. Lumber Depot also grew revenues by 14.7% to $1.43 billion, despite the impact that the COVID-19 virus had on the global and local economy. American Airlines, the world's largest carrier, says by December it will increase the number of flights coming to Jamaica to 17 flights per day. This is to meet the increasing demand for travel. In a release from the Tourism Ministry, the airline says the number of daily flights between Kingston and Miami will increase from 1 to 3 by December. American will also offer 3 non-stop flights per week between Philadelphia and Kingston. The additional capacity into Kingston will also be matched by more seats into Montego Bay. American Airlines recently announced that as of November, it will be deploying its large-capacity 787 planes on several routes to Jamaica.
Now for the top regional and international stories. The Department of Homeland Security says roughly 4,600 Haitians have been removed from the U.S. since September 19. They were put on repatriation flights from Texas to Haiti. The expulsion comes after thousands of migrants, many of them Haitians, amassed under the Del Rio International Bridge. They arrived there and were waiting to get processed by U.S. immigration authorities. Many of them were thought to have been living in South America since Haiti's 2010 earthquake, but fled as jobs dried up in the region. The last remaining migrants left the temporary site on Friday. Some were flown back to Haiti, others moved to customs and border protection processing centers, and thousands were released into the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is urging pregnant women to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The urgent recommendation comes after the CDC reported the highest number of pregnant women to die in a month. 22 pregnant women died from the infection in August. Vaccination rates are low among pregnant women at only 31%. The CDC says COVID can cause babies to be born sick early or to be stillborn. The agency says vaccination before or during pregnancy strongly outweighs the risk. And that's it for the top regional and international stories. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Midday Sports Report. Simon Preston is standing by.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. United Soccer League club Miami FC say they are cooperating with law enforcement over the arrest of reggae boy Jashawn Anglin recently. More in this report from NBC6 News.
Police say this Miami FC soccer player sexually assaulted an FIU student inside a campus building. Wednesday morning, Jashawn Anglin stood before a Miami-Dade judge.
I live in Jamaica, but I came up here playing soccer.
You came for a sporting event. Okay, so just so you know, in America, well, you're here 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay. In America, no means no.
Police say England started a conversation with a woman around midnight Tuesday. He convinced her to go inside this building on main campus. And that's when police say England began sexually assaulting her. A custodian working that night heard what was happening inside the classroom and came to help the student, who police describe as in her 20s.
I don't know what I would have done in that instance, but I would have ran or I don't know.
England was acquired to Miami FC in January. Shortly after, the Jamaican star published an article about his past, describing him as falling under bad influences and picking up bad habits. The article writing England was given a second chance to play soccer after coming to Miami. But now that second chance could come to an end if England is convicted of the crime that has some students on edge at FIU.
Across the Atlantic we go now, as Reggae Boys forward Mikel Antonio will be searching for his second goal from as many games as West Ham United battles Austrian club Rapid Wien in action from the UEFA Europa League in London this afternoon. The Hammers won their opening group stage game 2-0 over Dynamo Zagreb. Antonio scored the opener in that game. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock Jamaica time. The 31-year-old has scored 6 goals in 6 appearances this season in all competitions. Antonio has been called up for the Reggae Boys squad to face the United States on October 7 in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. And finally this afternoon, the Reggae Girls have remained third in the September edition of the CONCACAF Rankings Index. The United States continues to lead the index, followed by Canada, while Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago and Costa Rica round out the top 6. The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers are slated to kick off in November, with the CONCACAF region having 4 automatic spots to the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. The Reggae Girls will face Costa Rica in a friendly match on October 24 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Ashane, it is over to you.
Thanks, Simon. And that's it for the Midday News. I'm Ashane Masters. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the News, Sports and Production teams, good afternoon.